The 12th annual Starrcade would be notable for several reasons, most notably, the absence of the Nature Boy Ric Flair, who had been a mainstay since its inception in 1983. WCW's franchise, Sting would find himself in a secondary role after bursting onto the main event scene early in his career. With the influx of new stars from the WWF, his star began to fade further and further into the background. Vader had earned the right to challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship, but instead, is set to face Jim Duggan for the United States title, putting his World Championship hopes on hold. WCW World Champion, Hulk Hogan puts the title on the line against his former best friend, The Butcher, who betrayed him, nearly costing him the title at Halloween Havoc. Also to take place at Starrcade 94, Arn Anderson challenges Johnny B. Bad for the television championship, Mr. T goes one-on-one with Kevin Sullivan, Sting vs. Avalanche, Alex Wright vs. Jean-Paul Levesque, and in tag team competition, the Nasty Boys take on Harlem Heat. Starrcade 94 begins with a U.S. title match between champion, Jim Duggan and Big Ben Vader. Vader, currently the #1 contender for the World Championship, looks to add more gold along the way. Duggan attacks Vader in the aisle, leading to a brawl. He even confronts Harley Race and sends him over the ropes. Subsequently, Vader and Duggan fight both inside and outside the ring, with Jim whipping Vader into the guardrail. Duggan also surprises Vader with a crossbody and a slam, but Vader retaliates by boxing his ears and going for the eyes. Eventually, he sends Duggan crashing into the rail and starts targeting Jim's ribs. He executes a Vader bomb, but Duggan manages to place a foot on the ropes. Jim then delivers a low kick to Vader as he tries for a second bomb. Vader retaliates by using ref distractions and avalanche attacks. However, he misses a moonsault. Duggan takes advantage with clotheslines until Race rakes his eyes. Nevertheless, Duggan manages to catch Vader in a slam when he dives off the ropes. Duggan tries his running clothesline once more, but Vader dodges him. Race was on the apron holding Jim's 2x4 when Duggan collided with it. Consequently, Vader delivers an inverted wheelbarrow slam to Duggan for the victory to claim the United States Championship. The second match features two new young stars, Alex Wright vs. Jean-Paul Levesque, ultimately known as Triple H. Levesque mocks Alex early by pinching his cheeks and bowing, but Wright catches him with arm drags and flying head scissors. Both men trade mat holds and athletic reversals until he becomes frustrated. He attacks Alex with punches and kicks until Wright tumbles out of the ring on a missed crossbody. But, Alex catches him at the ropes and tries a slingshot sunset flip. Levesque blocks it and answers with a power slam and some more mat holds. He also gives Wright a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, but he misses a flying elbow. Wright takes advantage with uppercuts and a wheel kick. However, both men collide with each other. Levesque then tries to run Alex into the corner, but he backflips over him and rolls him up for the win. Veteran Arn Anderson replaces the Honky Tonk Man to challenge Johnny B. Bad for the television title in the next contest. Arn keeps taking Johnny down by the hair and they trade holds. Whenever Bad gets the advantage, Arn lifts him and places him on the turnbuckles. He even slaps him, so Bad fights back until Arn complains of hair pulling. He then regroups and manages to nail the spinebuster, but he doesn't cover him. Anderson then puts Johnny in more holds and blocks a sunset flip before locking Bad in a sleeper. But, Johnny escapes and lands a flying sunset flip. Arn tries to answer by pinning him with his feet on the ropes, but the ref catches him. While Arn argues with the ref, Bad rolls him up for the win. The next match is a tag team showdown between Harlem Heat, now managed by Sherry, and the Nasty Boys. Everyone brawls to start the match until Harlem Heat regroups. The Nasty Boys gain the upper hand early with double clotheslines in the corner splash with assistance. The match turns into a brawl again, but Sherry distracts the referee while Stevie clotheslines Knobbs over the ropes. Then, Knobbs and Stevie misexecute an Irish whip before Knobbs delivers a clothesline and a facebuster. Next, the Nasty Boys unexpectedly spend some time targeting both Stevie and Booker T's arms. Even the commentators express surprise at this. However, Harlem Heat manages to get Sags outside, and Stevie drops him shin first onto the rail. Harlem Heat then slows down the match with bear hugs and chin locks. Sags ultimately makes a comeback and tags Knobbs. He clears the ring until they engage in another brawl and Sherry attempts to use some hairspray. She tries to spray Knobs but accidentally hits Stevie instead. The Nasty Boys perform a flying elbow drop, prompting Sherry to leap off the ropes. Unfortunately, she lands on Booker and the referee calls for the bell. After the bell, the Nasty Boys capture Sherry and deliver Pity City. The crowd delights as Sherry flails on the mat. Mr. T is back to face Kevin Sullivan in a singles contest next. Mr. T gains the upper hand early on with punches and a hip toss. In the meantime, Dave Sullivan shows up in his Santa outfit. The two men keep brawling on the floor where Kevin pulls Mr. Shirt over his head. He delivers some hard shots to Mr. T since he had been a bit rough earlier. They exchange punches while a cameraman falls onto his backside. Consequently, Sullivan shoves Mr. T on top of him. Sullivan then tries to take off Mr. T's shirt, but it won't fit over his hands. He has to carry on with the match while the shirt hangs from his arms. Shortly after, Jimmy Hart appears and puts his megaphone into Dave Sullivan's Santa sack. Dave grabs the sack and hits Sullivan with it, allowing Mr. T to cover for the victory. Dave celebrates with the crowd, prompting Kevin to attack him from behind. Sullivan then brings Dave into the ring and delivers a pile driver. He also removes Dave's belt and strikes him with it. Sting takes on Avalanche, formerly known as Earthquake, in the next match. They push each other several times, but Avalanche fails to execute a corner splash. Sting then assaults his legs consistently. They also engage in a battle of strength, but Sting consistently targets the legs. Nevertheless, he is unsuccessful with several slam attempts. Then, Avalanche delivers some power slams and a bear hug to Sting. However, Sting counters with a sleeper hold. Avalanche continually tries to escape it, but Sting manages to stay strong. Next, Sting reverts to attacking the legs only to fall short with another slam attempt. Avalanche responds with a power slam and signals for the Avalanche drop. Sting recovers and strikes with a clothesline and flying axe handle. He then attempts a Stinger splash, but the referee gets caught between him and Avalanche. Sting remains unaware. He applies the Scorpion Deathlock on Avalanche, but Sullivan interrupts. Then, Sting seizes Kevin and hurls him at Avalanche, but it proves ineffective. Sullivan and Avalanche close in on Sting, prompting Hogan to arrive with a chair while a new referee signals for the bell. Finally, Hulk Hogan defends the World Heavyweight Championship while seeking retribution from the Butcher in the main event of Starrcade '94. Hogan pushes Butcher around the ring, but he counters with chops to the head. Then, they fight their way to the floor, leading to back rakes. Both competitors take turns raking each other's back, front, and eyes. Jimmy Hart prevents Butcher from using a chair, but no one stops Hogan from doing so. The referee is indifferent. Then, Butcher catches Hogan off guard with a high knee and chokes him. He continues with more rakes, but misses a diving chop. Hogan retaliates with rakes and chops Butcher. However, Butcher notices Hogan ducking and utilizes a nerve hold for a while. He ultimately traps Hogan in the sleeper hold. Hogan begins to fade, and the referee examines his arms. However, Butcher lets him go too early. Hogan appears to be hurt and then powers up when Butcher attempts a cover. This brings Sullivan and Avalanche back into the ring, but Hogan fights them off and delivers the leg drop for the victory to retain his title. Following the match, Hogan repels Sullivan and Avalanche. He takes a chair, but Randy Savage shows up. He shakes hands with the three faces of fear and starts directing the action. Hogan is left astonished. But, when Sullivan turns to confront Hogan, Savage strikes Kevin from behind. Hogan then delivers chair shots to the faces of fear and the audience cheers as Hogan and Savage clear the ring. Savage picks up Hogan's championship belt. Hogan notices him holding the title and questions him, but Randy hands it over to Hogan. He also extends his hand for a handshake with Hogan. Randy Savage is in WCW, but what does he want? Following Starrcade, Arn Anderson defeated Johnny B. Bad to win the television title for the fourth time. The Nasty Boys continued to feud with Harlem Heat, now with Sherry, over the World Tag Team titles. Sting and Avalanche would do likewise. Macho Man Randy Savage joined Sting to face him along with Big Bubba Rogers at Super Brawl 5, where Vader would get his awaited world title shot against Hulk Hogan. With Hulkamania in full force in WCW, Kevin Sullivan began to embrace the darker side of his persona, becoming the Taskmaster and forming the Dungeon of Doom to destroy it.